Hi, Katie. It's so great that you are here. That last night we had some discussion that it would be so great if you could just share the importance of this cause, to talk about that a little bit more and why is it so important. And I think we are very passionate about that. It's really, really important. It would be great to talk about that more. Why is it so important to do this campaign, Emerging Proud?
Yeah, thanks for suggesting that, Rosalia. I suppose I've been kind of hiding behind other people as well, in a way, and also worried about people kind of getting fed up with hearing my voice. But when you suggested doing that, I thought, yes, I probably do need to kind of explain it a bit more and my passion behind it and why I feel it's so important. And actually, it's really pertinent today because I've spoken to two people in the last couple of days who I really admire, really well-respected people doing amazing work in the field, sort of trying to change mental health and perceptions, who both sort of came out to me privately and admitted that they're too scared to speak up. And it's just like the heaviness and the weight of that, and it makes me really sad, actually, because it makes me realise how huge this is. And part of me, it really triggered my panic in a way as well. It's like, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? What have I done? Like, you know what I'm like. I have big visions, big plans, and this is all about I really want to create a political transformation with this. I want to raise awareness, and I thought, how can I best make the biggest impact? I'm fed up with kind of fanning around I spent years kind of doing stuff and nothing's really happened, and I'm impatient, and
right.
Time's running out for people as well. People are dying, people are really suffering, and I thought, okay, well, what's made the biggest impact historically? The Black rights movement, the gay rights movement, and actually, spiritual experience it's a human right. I think it's Article 18 of the Human Rights Act that people have a right to thought and conscience and religion. And I don't like the word religion. It irks me a bit. But, people have those rights and their beliefs are not being upheld. And, there was this category introduced into the DSM over 20 years ago now by David Lukoff, spiritual and religious problems, that they shouldn't be being pathologized, and that's not being upheld. It's kind of ignored, if not kind of a little tick box in a care program when somebody's admitted to hospital, and no one really kind of knows what it means. It's like, what does it actually mean? So it's about giving a voice to the people whose voices are being silenced by the system. And this isn't about blame. It's not about saying, the system's horrendous, because the psychiatric system is just doing the best it can at the moment. And it's just time for that to evolve. I see people close to me suffering, and it really kind of hit me today talking to these two people. It's like, it shows the amount of fear that society has created around these types of experiences. And when we're born into this culture, into the Western world, which is supposed to be developed, and actually we're way behind in this thinking, some of the undeveloped countries. I know something that really stuck with me when I went to Brazil. I was lucky enough to go to Brazil a couple of years ago and met the Crazy Wise Guys that are doing brilliant awareness raising work in this field. One of the things that the Spiritist hospitals really believe over there is that one of the biggest causes of psychological distress is repressed mediumship. And that just rung a complete chord with me, because I think I'm third generation to experience these things, although I'm kind of the first to speak out. I know, my mum's tried and been pathologized because of it, and her mother was, you know, when I look back, was always kind of, you know, away with the fairies, as we say. She was kind of not really, it was as if her soul was somewhere else, and gradually developed dementia, which I think is closely connected to this as well. So I mean, there's so much stuff, and it's just so important, and I just wanted to give a platform to people, and to kind of empower people's voices to be heard, and including mine. You know, I've I've felt like I've not had a voice really until now, until I've kind of woke up to this authentic me, and it's so liberating, and I kind of want to provide that for other people, and just create a safe society where people can openly talk about this, express themselves, their truth, and not be reprimanded for it.
Yeah, so basically to normalize spirituality is so important.
Like you said the other day, it's like there isn't normal here and these experiences over here. Normal is just a whole spectrum of experiences. You know, we don't know what reality is. Reality is changing every day. Science is proving different things every day. And that's the other thing that I really wanted to make clear. It's like, I don't care anymore about, you know, persuading people to believe this is the truth. That's not what this is about. It doesn't matter. And that's kind of a stage when you wake up, you know, you call it the Messiah complex. You want to tell the world, you want the world to like, no, it doesn't really matter anymore. What matters to me is kind of enabling people, empowering people to aid their own recovery. So, you know, whether somebody believes it's real or not, it doesn't matter if that person is able to heal themselves and live a meaningful life if their beliefs are acknowledged and validated, and not kind of, you know, their self-esteem isn't stripped away because of that. And, you know, this has been really important for me, because I've gone from, you know, feeling suicidal, worthless, just completely like I'm nothing in the world, to feeling like I have a purpose, I have meaning, and it doesn't matter if you know, I'm proven wrong. I don't care. The impact of it is phenomenal, and I'm, you know, living a really happy life with not very much. So, you know, all of the kind of spiritual beliefs around letting go of attachments, and, you know, it doesn't make you happy. Those things don't make you happy, you know. Got no money, no home, no relationship, no snazzy car, no, it doesn't matter. Those things don't make you happiness. Happiness is in here, and that's kind of that's a really important thing. And one of the other things that sorry, rambling.
Go on.
Just in relation to this is I was just thinking about this before we spoke, because I spoke to somebody earlier about this as well, about the empowering thing, because I'm really fascinated with the criminal minds in prisons and the effect that trauma in early childhood has on people, and how, you know, the majority of people in prison have a childhood trauma experience, but also, you know, there's so many people waking up in prison because it's like enforced solitary confinement. You know, it's like enforcing someone to do Vipassana meditation for 23 hours a day when they've never done it before. I mean, that's going to blow you open. But I was just going to say, in relation to like empowering oneself, and something that I've learned to do for me is recognizing that, you know, my emotions were all over the place. I was really I'm really sensitive, but I was really kind of reactive to things. If I was angry, it would be like, you know, stress response and whatever. And learning that, you know, when I was a baby and my mum was hospitalized when I was very young, so we didn't have that kind of important bonding period for some of the time when I was a really young baby. it's affected my nervous system. And learning about that, learning about the fact that, you know, my cortisol levels were higher and my parasympathetic nervous system hadn't developed properly, it's like, okay, well, that then empowers me to do something about it. No one else can solve that for me. I've got to heal that in myself. So through doing meditation and whatever, you know, it's proven that we can change our physiology, doing affirmations, changing our neural pathways and all that kind of stuff. It's just been so liberating and empowering to kind of learn about all that and know that I'm not a victim to things anymore. And that's the thing that I want to be able to enable for people as well.
Yeah, I think so too, that one of the most important things in this campaign is definitely to give this validation, what you talk about. Because we know that from the latest research results that there are three things what people need when they are going through this process. And one of them is validation. And the other one is offering a safe space. And then the third one is not pathologizing what they are going through. So your campaign is basically helping all three in a way. So to help people to go through that.
I hope so. It's kind of scary, you know, because there's so many people. We're in contact with so many amazing people around the world doing really progressive work in this field, or just, you know, in mental health in general, compassionate mental health. You know, and I thought, oh, you know, people are going to be, you know, wanting to film their stories and whatever. And yeah, people, you know, I'm getting interviews, it's great. But actually, there is this huge fear about people stepping up and doing it. And I want to sort of say to people, unless we do that, you know, unless we are the change, we're perpetuating the stigma that we want to see ended. And that's the irony. It's like, you know, because I've had those sub-personalities of me that think I'm, you know, who the hell do you think you are doing this thing? It's like, you know, all those little doubting voices. Like, you know, what I do is I tend to have some inspired idea from source, and then I do it before my brain kicks in to say, what the hell do you think you're doing? Kind of how I live my life now, because otherwise I'd be too bloody scared to do anything. But, you know, I'm scared, and, you know, it is really scary. But unless we all own it and speak out about our own experiences, then things aren't going to shift. You know, we need to change the status quo. And I really do believe that the more people that do it, the more will. And I found that just through talking to people, you know, professional colleagues, clinicians have kind of opened up to me secretly because they know it's safe to do that. But it's like, come on, we need to do this openly, not just behind closed doors and whispering, because that is perpetuating the stigma.
Yes, and I think it's
be ashamed about it.
Yeah, and it's really important to understand that it's not just, you know, some people think like this, but really like people like Stan Grof, you know, on the Integral European Conference in Budapest was talking about that it's like revisioning psychiatry is really critical to achieve a change in the world and to have a solution on the crisis in the world. And he was also talking about the new cartography of the human psyche, which includes transpersonal as well.
Yeah. I mean, I know his words were like, there shouldn't be a need for transpersonal psychology because it should just be psychology. And that's so true, isn't it? It's like, we're all transpersonal as well. So why is it a separate, you know, like some weird, like side subject that's not so important? No, it's so vital, you know? Like we're denying ourselves, and that's causing huge distress in the world. And you know, when you're more aware and conscious, you're kind of aware of other people as well, and you know, sensing into trauma in other people. And you know, it's overwhelming at times, isn't it? But that, you know, you can see that people are denying this part of themselves, and it's causing huge issues. And we see, like, obviously with all the political chaos that's going on in the world and all of the anger and the projected like shadow and darkness, it's like I've had some really amazing deep conversations about, you know, Jungian archetypes and the fact that we have to integrate our shadow. And there's so few people that I've been able to have these conversations with, that you know, really own that we have this evil. We all have an evil side. It's just normal part of human nature. We don't have to identify with it. And I think that's what, you know, that's where we really can come together with other movements and that's happening as well within the mental health world. I love, you know, the Hearing Voices Network and how they work with the voices and how they work with the kind of, you know, murderous voices or whatever it might be. They don't deny them or kind of, you know, they work with them, and it's kind of the same thing that we're saying really, but you know, we're saying linking this to the theories of Jung and our own experiences. And you know, I mean, once you awaken, it's not all love and light. You know, that's what I don't like about this new age spiritual movement, because it gives it a bad name. You know, it's like it's not just all airy fairy bullshit, as you say. I can never say that without a Hungarian accent.
Yes, I think that's why it's important to have really a series of interviews, like talking about these different subjects, because they are all very important.
Yeah,
they all have their own importance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's great, and we have to talk about the money as well. You know, like, please, people, donate to this cause. It's really, really important cause.
Yeah, I mean, this is about creating an international day. Like, I'm thinking Pride. I'm thinking of having. My vision is to have to create a film, to give everybody's voice a platform. So that's why I'm asking for 2-minute video clips of people with their story, a tiny amount of their story and their passion, so that I can put together a montage and create like a really powerful, impactful film that will premiere on the 17th of March next year. And also to have a book commemorating the start of this movement, because I really do believe that, you know, other movements have started small, and it's like, why not dream big? You know, anything can happen. I know that now. And if we can collectively create this, then there's no reason that can't happen. But I can't, you know, we can't do this without funding. I've you know, struggled, not going to deny, for the last 4 years, because I've been so dedicated to doing this, and we don't get paid for any of it. You know, people don't realise that. So you know, we can't do this without your support, without your voices, without you stepping up and joining in. So so really invite people to be brave and kind of fight for this change, really.
Fight for this change. And just, if you just donate as little as £5, and think about that, if everybody would donate £5.
I know. I was thinking that on my when I launched, just like, bloody hell, if everyone that sent me a birthday wish could just like donate a £5, that would be pretty good.
Good idea. Yeah.
But actually, if you'd buy me a drink in the bar, would you donate £5? Because it means more to me than that. You know, doing this. You know why I'm doing. Most people know why I'm doing this. It's because it's so personal, and you know, I couldn't change the system quick enough for my mum, but hopefully it can for future generations. So
changing the world. I'm very grateful for your work on this, Katie. God bless you.
I wasn't expecting that to happen, but you know, we show up as we are now, don't we? And kind of our conference calls have had unexpected all sorts of things. And that's the other thing I wanted to say is just to share with people that I really want to give people an insight behind iSend during this campaign as well, and to show how many amazing people are giving their time for free around the world to develop networks to support people who are going through this process, and so passionate about this because, like we are, they've been through it themselves, and you know, have loved ones that are suffering or whatever it might be.
Yes, we want to make a change in this world, and we need your help. So please help us to make this change in the world with your help.
Thank you, Rosalie. I appreciate you suggesting this, because it's kind of probably not something I would have done on my own. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Kitty.